Hey everyone, we are inside the Dodge Hornet, and I've been driving this thing over the past week, and if you haven't checked out my full review and tour video, definitely go check that out for all the in-depth details and all the nitty-gritty about this thing. But today I'm going to take you guys on a drive of the new Hornet, and it's a pretty fun little vehicle. Let's go take a quick tour outside for you guys who have not seen it just yet. Here we have it in this color called Bayou Blue, and it's actually, and since this is an Alfa Romeo at the end of the day, the real name of this color is Misano Blue, and it's found on all Alfa Romeo products, but Dodge calls it Bayou Blue for the Hornet, and it has the same paint code, so that's a fun little fact. And as we also know, this is an Alfa Romeo Tonale reskinned for the Dodge Hornet nameplate, so I'm sure we all know that at this point, but I think it looks really good as a Hornet with its unique headlights, kind of the unique hood that has real vents on it. It's very sporty, very agile looking. You have the Hornet badge on the side, unique wheels as well. I think it's a fun looking little compact crossover, and it's definitely peppy for what it is. Under the hood here, we have a 2-liter turbocharged engine found in a variety of Stellantis Group products, from the Alfa Romeo Giulia, Stelvio, believe in the Wrangler as well, though it is turned sideways to be transverse so it can fit in this platform. Over 260 horsepower as well through a 9-speed gearbox. Even the rear end is really cool looking. We have this light bar back here. We also have the new Dodge /mark logo that you don't really see any actual Dodge script anywhere on the exterior, so if you don't know what this is, you may not know what you're looking at. Anyways, let's go take this thing for a drive. And a quick note, let's just check out those rear seats for some who are questioning if it's big enough. It's definitely big enough. This is my driving position. I'm 6 feet tall, and yes, I can fit behind myself pretty fine. I have about this amount of headroom, even with my hat on and this camera. It can be a little tight back here. As you can see, this passenger seat is a little bit further back, but it's not too bad. And this one doesn't have a sunroof option, so you have a little bit more headspace. One little complaint is this piece does stick out, the C-pillar attachment here, so I've hit my arm on that a few times getting in and out, but otherwise, no real issues there. Let's hop inside. And honestly, I've heard there are some complaints on the earlier ones of these with some quality issues that people were able to rip the whole door panel off and stuff. I think those were pre-production units, because this thing's build quality has been perfection. And I don't mean to be like exaggerating or like, oh, I'm hyping up the vehicle. I literally have had no issues like whatsoever this whole week. Like, I've even done like quality tests. Like, everything feels like so solid. No creaks, rattles from any of the panels, like literally whatsoever. So I don't know what people are talking about. I think they've kind of fixed all these production issues. Even the center console feels like really dense and nice, so pretty nice stuff on that part. Inside we have these gorgeous digital displays. We have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto in here, heated ventilated seats as well as a heated steering wheel, automatic climate control. We have some performance pages as well in this infotainment system, which look pretty cool. You can see your My Car information there. Pretty nice system. This is Uconnect 5. I have also had no complaints with this either. No technical issues at all either, as some people were seeing. You have a sport mode here that will tighten up the steering just a little bit more. If you get the one with, I believe it has adaptive dampers in the track package, I think it'll put it into that mode as well. 9-speed automatic gearbox, like I mentioned, and let's head off. Digital gauge cluster is very configurable as well. We can change the center bit. We also have a really nice surround view camera system on this one. We can change our views and angles. We have trajectory and parking sensors as well, which are fantastic. They all look really nice and clear. Pop it in back into drive. Let's head off. Now, some things to note with this platform. So this steering wheel, and obviously this is an Alfa Romeo at the end of the day, this steering wheel rack and wheel is lifted out of the Alfa Romeo Giulia and Stelvio. Now, if you've never driven those vehicles or watched a review on them, they're noted for having some of the best steering and just general chassis dynamic feels on the market. Now, that's obviously in a completely different platform. It's a rear-wheel drive based platform, very sporty. This isn't. So, and this steering rack, it is very quick in its own right. And putting that into this compact car, transverse, front-wheel drive based platform, it is so darty and fast that when I first got into this last week, I was like, whoa, this is a little bit too much steering for this platform. And I was a little bit like, have to get used to it a little bit. And it actually gets even kind of more firmer feeling in the sport mode, which is pretty interesting. Interesting sounding turn indicators here as well. And the really funny thing is that the emergency kind of collision warning chime is like these Italian horns that sound so horrifying and comical that, I mean, it works, but it's just funny. A little bit of some turbo whoosh there, and this is a pretty potent powertrain. So before I go that, let's just finish up on the steering here. It definitely makes this car feel very dynamic, and every once and now and then you'll feel a little bit of some torque steer if you kind of step on it too hard and the turbos kick in, and the all-wheel drive system takes a little bit of time to figure out where to send the power. Generally I haven't had any complaints with this, and I personally would be really curious to try this vehicle with the track package, which gets you bigger wheels. These are like 18-inch wheels, I think. Those get you, I think, 20 wheels with a little bit more of an aggressive tire, and you also have that adaptive damper setup, which I would be interested to see how that feels on this platform. Though just driving around town, I do like the steering feel. Like, you can feel what's going on those front tires. I feel all the little undulations and bumps on the road from each side. I can kind of tell where it is. So there is a unique direct driving feel that you're not going to really find in any of these kind of other premium-ish compact crossover segment. And I say premium because this thing commands a little bit of a premium price tag at around $41,000 for this mid-spec. The top two RT ones are the plug-in hybrid variants, and that gets you the paddle shifters and different powertrains. So otherwise, it's a pretty nice cabin in here. Visibility is pretty good. These A-pillars are a little bit thick, as you can see on the sides. No real complaints there, though we have nice big side mirrors as well as blind spot monitoring, so that is really helpful. Out back, the rear glass is a little bit tiny. I'm not sure if you can see in the rear view mirror here. Thankfully, this is essentially almost frameless for your rear view mirror, so you have a nice big wide view, though that rear glass is tiny, and the rear headrests do kind of eat into your cargo space, so you might want to, or your view space, so you might want to take them down actually if you want a little bit better of a view. They don't fold down though, so that would be like a manual operation you would have to do, and then your passengers will be out without headrests. Quietness levels in here are also pretty good, like actually very, very good. I think when Alfa Romeo was kind of working out this platform, I'm going to keep saying Alfa Romeo because they're the ones who did all the mechanical and engineering work on this thing. They really kind of wanted to make this more of a premium platform. So if you open the doors, you can see the insane amounts of sound isolating material they have put in between the bodies, the body bits, and all the crevices to make sure there's no like road noise, tire noise, and a whole bunch of unnecessary, unpleasant noises coming into the cabin. So it does feel very sturdy and premium in that aspect in this interior. And this one is also equipped with the kind of highway driving assist function, which has been fantastic. I've been very critical about a lot of these highway driving assist features and these kind of packages these days, and none of them are the same. They're all different per different manufacturers. And getting out of the Grand Cherokee Summit Reserve over the summer, which this shares a system with, I found it just to be as good in this vehicle as it was in that car, and that was like $76,000. And it's pretty easy to turn on and off. Just on the left hand side of your steering wheel here, you can pop on this little button here. Highway assist is ready. Now this is an option, it's not standard, it's a little bit of an expensive option, so you don't have to get it, but it is now on. Let's set our speed, and that's it. You can see the dash will light up green here to let you know you're in your highway drive assist function, and it has full steering assist, lane keep assist. We have, of course, like I said, we have blind spot before, and we also have radar adaptive cruise control. We have our following distance we can set there. A lot of different levels for following distance. I think a little bit more than you're going to find in some other manufacturers. And you can kind of configure this center display to kind of view these safety systems on a set screen as well. So here you have your driver assist specific display, and from this little toggle switch on your windshield wiper stock here, you can quickly change the view of your gauges. So you can have the full gauges here, you have some half gauges, and just have the pure speed and just this pure display in the center. And that's really nice, especially when you're using the built-in navigation, where it has this massive map display that almost looks like something out of Audi's virtual cockpit, which is really, really nice. I have to say, again, no issues I've had with this display the entire week, and it's been pretty useful. And you even have, when you're in sport mode, a G-force meter, especially for these more tighter corners here. And with this quick steering rack, it's so grippy. Now, there's definitely some front end bias, you can feel it when you're in some steering, but you know, once you apply some throttle, it kind of helps to send the power to all four wheels. I wish there was a kind of torque distribution gauge on the dash that we could see. I think that'd be really cool. A lot of vehicles do that these days. I personally like that. I just like to see all the little statistics of the cars, but it's a nerdy thing. Otherwise, the Hornet's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun car to drive around, and I'm just going to keep reiterating that I personally have not had any issues over this week that I have been driving it. And yes, it's only been a week. There really have not been any major technical issues, quality issues that I've been seeing. Earlier ones have, some other pre-production units have, and some even early owners have seen. Also, one thing to note is the fuel economy isn't the best on this thing. You know, in the max end range, you're probably going to see around 30 miles to the gallon. I wouldn't say I've been driving economically at all, so that's probably why you're seeing this lower end figure of around 21.2 miles to the gallon that we have on there. Still pretty good for a little bit more of an aggressive driving experience, just because I've been trying to like get a feel for the car over the past week. But there's definitely more economical vehicles in this class for sure. This is not going to be your powerhouse in terms of high MPGs, and it'd be interesting to see how better the plug-in hybrid does. I've seen like the EPA figures at least are a little bit higher than the just pure gas model, just like by like 3 or 4 MPG. Obviously you have that electric driving range in the plug-in hybrid one that's going to give you a little bit better just I guess a daily blend of driving around, which could be nicer. Otherwise this one has a lot of power, big turbo on there to kind of give you that power, so it's going to encourage you to drive a little bit more of a spirited fashion, especially with this crazy quick steering rack. Nonetheless though, I definitely have been enjoying it over this past week, and it's been pretty fun. Some things I wish it had, maybe like a heads-up display and definitely a sunroof for $42,000, but it's definitely something to consider. I would definitely check it out. Even if you're kind of new to the Dodge brand, I think that's just kind of what this vehicle is aimed at, is kind of attracting more people to the Dodge brand that don't just want a Challenger or a Charger as a muscle car. Anyways guys, thank you for joining me on this POV drive of the all-new Dodge Hornet. I'm really looking forward to hoping to getting into the plug-in hybrid model to see how that compares to this. And as always, make sure to watch my full review and stay tuned for more coming on Allcarnews. Cheers.